Yay, Assassin's Creed videos, because that keeps my heart pumping. So during 2014, we got Assassin's Creed Rogue. For all you who spell Rogue wrong, this is how you spell it at the top, and this is how you are probably currently spelling it. The difference is, Rogue means a dishonest or otherwise unprincipled person, whereas Rouge is just French for red. Lesson time over, let's get back to the video. So yes, in 2014, we got Assassin's Creed Rogue, which followed Sheikh Patrick Cormac as he defected from the Assassin Brotherhood into the Templar Order. What was special about Rogue is we got to see the Templar perspective and point of view and how they viewed the Assassins, and it felt as if the Assassins were the villains in that game, thus proving the both sides are as bad as each other business that we sort of suspected since probably Assassin's Creed 3. A lot of people were complaining, saying, "It's Assassin's Creed, not Templar's Creed! What the fuck's this doing?" But that's a really pointless argument. It is Assassin's Creed, that's the name of the franchise. It's just a bracket of that, which we get to see the Templar's perspective. But anywho, that's also besides the point. The point is, of this video, will we be seeing more Templar games in the future? Not necessarily the nearer future, but maybe in the long run for Assassin's Creed, maybe we could get a couple Templar side-scrolling games and etc. Honestly, I think we will. Because it seems as if Ubisoft is trying to put emphasis on the fact that the Assassins and Templars are in a war with one another, and there is no obvious good and bad as far as the sides go. So basically, what better way to present this argument that both sides are as bad as each other than to show both perspectives on numerous occasions. Now, we've seen plenty of assassin-based perspectives, but maybe we could get a few more Templar-based perspectives in the future where we see how the Templars see things, and maybe side-scrolling games. I wouldn't imagine they do it with the main games because they should be pretty assassin-focused, but we could see it in the future. This would be a really good way to expand the Templar point of view, get us to understand it a bit more and understand their ideals, and maybe sometimes why they appear to be dealing in otherwise inhumane extremes that we've seen in previous Assassin's Creed games, and maybe we could get to see the dark side of the Assassins as well and see their negatives a little bit more, because I like that about Rogue. It did show some flaws, and it showed the flaws on both sides rather than just one, and in previous Assassin's Creed games beforehand, the flaws that we've seen have mostly been with the Templars rather than the Assassins. However, this has not been entirely the case, but it has been most of the time, and I'd like to see a more balanced argument in the universe, and I feel as if the best way to do that would be to have some more Templar games in there, making Templar games actually quite logical. Now, Assassin's Creed is titled Assassin's Creed, and we should sort of be wavering to the Assassins, and that makes sense. But what better way to sort of level this off and make it feel a little bit more realistic than fleshing out the universe with some Templar games? They don't necessarily have to be main titles like I suppose Rogue sort of was, however you could argue that it wasn't, however it basically was. But perhaps some side-scrolling sort of games like the Chronicles games or whatever, something like that. Something that gives us some more Templar story and things like that. Maybe even Templar-based books or whatever. Stuff that we can sink into the Templars a little bit more and get more Templar stuff. We have got a fair bit of that and we got some understanding for sure. But imagine the understanding we could get if we had more games with them. Like, for example, a game where we play as Hatham maybe, where we get to see him train as a Templar after his father's death or something like that. Something that we might have seen in Forsaken, that could work, because Hatham had a lot of story that we haven't seen in the games they could definitely go somewhere with, but at the same time they could create a whole new character and have us see it how he sort of sees it rather than how an established Templar sees it, and we get to see another angle and more angles, and the more angles we get on the story, even though it might get a little bit confusing, we also begin to generate our own ideas about it all and start to think, oh, maybe this side's right or maybe this side's right, because we'll be able to form our own opinion based on multiple sources rather than just seeing it how the characters in the game see it, which I think would be a pretty cool idea. Oh shit, I just ran out of gameplay and I can't be bothered recording more. I mean, it could be similar to Rogue, or it could be similar to the beginning of Unity, where you're playing as that Templar guy during the Jack de Molay business, or it could be similar to... I don't actually fucking know. That's the only two times we really get to play much as a Templar, besides from playing as Hatham at the start of Assassin's Creed 3, which it could also be like that as well. However, the Rogue and Hatham were quite assassin-esque because, of course, they did use the hidden blades because of their convenient past and Hatham's besting of an assassin in combat, sort of. I mean, they could play it like Rogue, which is probably the most interesting way they could do it, which is play it as an assassin hunter and hunt assassins and stuff. That was quite the interesting way to do things. Because Shay was a former assassin, that seemed like an ideal way to do it, because he had to hunt the assassins because the assassins were hunting him. Maybe we could have a similar sort of thing, but instead of hunting the assassins and etc., or, well, not necessarily hunting the assassins, but killing the assassins, you'll have to be doing a Templar business, and the assassins will sort of be hot at your tail or whatever, you know, just chasing after you and shit, and you have to fight back and stuff like that. That'll be interesting. They could go that route and integrate the assassins into the experience that way, or they could just do what they did with Rogue or with anything else. It could go anywhere, really. They could do a great many things with the Templars that they might not necessarily be able to do with the Assassins storyline, which is quite interesting. Now, of course, the Assassins are always going to take a very central focus in the franchise, as it is Assassin's Creed after all. And Assassin's Creed Rogue was very likely a one-off, and we may never see a Templar game again. But I think we should, in theory, because the Templar point of view is one that we shouldn't just discard after one game, and it definitely does have a place in the future of Assassin's Creed, and could be a very interesting way to look at the story from a different angle, so they may as well do it. In my opinion, it could work. What the fuck is this image? But thank you for watching this video, everybody. I hope you enjoy. Be sure to let me know what you think down below. Do you think we could be seeing more Templar games? Do you think we could be getting Templar games, except that's the same thing? What the fuck? You could... Let me just get my words alright. I promise I'll get there eventually. Do you think the Templar games will work? Stuff like that. Let me know what you think about it all. I think it's a decent idea, and we should definitely be seeing more Templar games. Not necessarily as main games, but as side games, you know what I mean? Not less, because the main games are obviously going to be Assassin focused, otherwise Assassin's Creed would overall lose its focus, and that's a bad thing, especially at this point when the franchise is about as fragile as really, really old glass. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, etc. And I'll see you all in the next one, so yeah. Fall down. My voice hurts a fucking lot. That hurt my voice. I'm in pain.